Hello there. Hi, my name is Sean McDonnell. I'm an artist based at Bailey's Beach, and that's in the Kaipara. That's about 2 hours north of Auckland. Here, so my background is I've got Irish ancestry. My mum and dad they came over to New Zealand a long time ago. I think they were only teenagers, 19, and they got away from Belfast, which at the time had a lot of troubles. There was a war going on, and so they moved to Australia first of all, and then landed in New Zealand because they liked the greenery of the country. And so I'm a Kiwi. I was born in Wellington, the capital, and so I'm now 45 years old, and have been making artwork since I was about 5 years old. Yeah, so I've been doing it for as long as I can remember, and just love it. I really enjoy doing it. Um, so originally from Wellington, the capital, and then I grew up in Auckland from about 7 years old to maybe 22, and then I've done quite a bit of travelling overseas. It was a bit greedy. I did 4 OEs, overseas experience trips, because New Zealand's so isolated. We really need to get out and see the world. So I've lived in a number of places: Japan, the Canary Islands, London for a bit. I was in Ireland for a year and a half, in Australia for a bit. So bit of time overseas, and the last 12 years have been up here, up in the beautiful Bailey's Beach. And I think that has affected me. Moving around and seeing these beautiful places has really opened my eyes to the beauty of this planet. I am a surfer, and one of my favourite things to do, apart from making art, painting mostly. That's what I do: paint, and using oil paints, and I also do printmaking, handmade woodblock prints and intaglio prints as well, quite process orientated. So when I'm not doing that, I love surfing and being at the beach, beach combing. Oh, yeah, just really enjoy that, and I think that's actually influenced my work now, because I'm mostly doing at the moment reflections on water, cloud formation, sunsets, things that make me really happy. Yeah, which is being outside in nature, and painting trees, and this has come through in my own work. Um, my upbringing, it hasn't really, has there been a specific reference point in my art? I think it just sort of grew organically. Um, when I was at art school, I graduated from Elam in 2000. I was doing lots of cells, like cells inside your body. I was doing like skulls, hearts, and I enjoyed making those works. But I came to the conclusion, maybe about 5, maybe 6 years ago now, that those works, even though they make me happy, it's not all about me. It's about the people. It's about art collectors. It's about making people happy, not just myself. And so that had a bit of an epiphany about 6 years ago. I think I was beach cleaning, beach walking at the time, and I thought, hang on a minute, people really love. I dabbled with painting landscapes and also sunsets, and people sort of, really bonded with those works. And I thought, man, I'm just going to do some more of those, because that's what I like to do: make people happy. Um, my biggest influences, first of all, would be my parents, mum and dad. They were so awesome. Neither of them are artists. I don't think there are any. We're from a pretty big family overall. I think dad had 12 brothers and sisters, big Catholic family, and most of them are still in Ireland. Um, and I think I've got 30 first cousins around the world. And as far as I'm aware, I don't know what happened. I must have, yeah, I got the art gene. because everyone else, they're quite analytical. We've got builders and accountants and business people, um, and for some reason, I don't know how, yeah, I ended up really loving and enjoying and being good at making artwork. So my parents definitely, because they let me go for it. They always let me follow my passion of making art, and they didn't try and stop me. Um, they actually said, "Yeah, go for it." When I said I wanted to become an artist, yeah, I knew since I was about 12 or 13, that was my goal, to be a full time artist, and I'm getting there slowly. I'm almost full time. I also do tour guiding as well. Um, yeah, so I work in the summer months here in New Zealand, traveling. I drive a bus taking people all over the country, and that's usually week on, week off. And it's awesome because then I get to do sketches and take photos and of this beautiful country. And when I get back to my studio up here, I then use those as a base to make art from. So it's really awesome. Um, I was also a teacher for a long time. I was an art teacher for 18 years, and I stopped doing that about 2 years ago because I had to I came to a crossroads and thought, well, it's either going to be do this forever, teach art, or be a full-time artist. So I made the jump, and so I do a little bit of teaching still, a lot of artwork, and also tour guiding, and it's awesome. My biggest influence as far as artists are concerned, I love Van Gogh, love his work, really, really. I resonate with that. His work resonates with me, I should say. I also like the Australian artist Brett Whiteley. His free-flowing forms, beautiful, linear. He does these layered textural works. I've also really enjoyed the New Zealand artist Philip Claremont. Um, and yeah, there's so many. But there's just a few. Right now, I'm focusing on working on a show that I've got coming up at my own little gallery. I've got a little art gallery here at Bailey's Beach called Kelly Street Gallery, and you can find it on. It's little brick and tile place, and we've got a show coming up in about 3 months' time, which I'm working towards, and lots of atmospheric works. I focus on the beauty and brevity of life, and because it's so short, life is so precious, and so I'm painting sunsets and also landscapes because they change so quickly, and a little bit like life. We're here one day and then we're gone the next. What's it all about? I'm not too sure. I suppose we'll find out at some stage. So I'm focusing on that. Biggest challenge of being an artist? Well, that's a great question. For me personally, I think it's trying to find that work-life balance between focusing on your artwork, because there's always more to do. There's never enough hours in the day. 24 hours isn't enough time. It's trying to focus on the artwork, spend more time making artwork, and also balance your making enough money to pay the bills, and also keep fit and healthy, and keep the house clean, and spend time with your friends, and read and keep researching, keep feeding your brain, and visiting your family, and so it's all trying to get the balance right. I think that's for me, that's probably the most important thing, and something that's worth working on. A really good challenge to work on. If I could give a little bit of advice for my younger self, I would say, don't be afraid to upset people. I think as a youngster, it took me till I was about 30 to realise that, because I've always been a people pleaser, and it took me till about 30 to realise that, hey, you can't keep everyone happy. And first of all, if you're happy and you're doing the right thing, and you are not doing anything that's going to hurt or upset other people, well, then go for it. Absolutely go for it. Yeah, I just, yeah, it took me a while to figure out that actually, if you want to pursue something and push and go for it, then do it. Uh, what any unconventional mediums or techniques? Yes, I'm currently painting oil paint onto hardboard, which is fairly conventional. But I used to actually stick. I used to paint onto clay. So I'd get clay from the beach and I'd put it onto the board and let it dry, and then I'd paint on top of that to build texture. And I also used to cut up pieces of wood and then glue that down and paint on top of that to have real thick, grunty texture. So I think that's fairly unconventional. Do I listen to music when I'm making artwork? Absolutely. I find it difficult to make art in silence. I can do it, of course, but I prefer to listen to something, have something on the go. I listen to a lot of audiobooks when I'm painting. So I'm kind of doing double dipping. I'm making art and I'm also feeding my brain at the same time. Audiobooks on all sorts of things, history, marketing, yeah, all sorts of things. I also like listening to house music. It gives me a little bit of pep. It gives me some energy. The best reaction that someone's had to my art, I think it's always great when a piece of artwork sells, because the funny thing is, artists, we need to make artwork, but people, they don't need to buy art. And so there's a bit of a, so if we can sort of have a bit more of a crossover of that would be wonderful. I think the best reaction was I've got a little studio here, and I had a new art collector come into my studio, and I had two pieces that I didn't think were quite finished, and the couple, they said, no, we want those now, that we're taking them. And I mean, I thought they were almost finished, but I thought, wow, cool. And they were adamant, no, we're walking out of here with them. So all I had to do was write my name on both of them, and then they went out the door. So I thought, wow, if that jumps out, if your work jumps out at somebody and they have to have it, you must be doing something right. Of course, it's not all about the sales. It's nice. It's a bonus. You got to pay the bills. It's about putting beauty into the world, or having a piece there that really makes someone think deeply about life itself. Why are we here? What's it all about? Where am I going with my life? Because life is so mysterious and so amazing. And so we are very, very lucky that if we can unlock something in a person, to make them think a bit more deeply about their own lives, or life in general, well, I really feel as though we've hit the mark there. What did you hope people would take away from art? I would hope people that took away from my art that they had something in their houses or offices or wherever they had the artwork, that made them happier. That put something. My works now are very bright and colourful, and lots of texture, and yeah, I would hope that it makes them happier. That it's on the wall and it makes them smile, makes them feel good, makes them think about being outside, and putting a little bit of nature inside their homes or offices. Yeah, that's what I'd hope, to make them happy. And yeah, I do have a couple of things I've got coming up. Yeah, so if you do want to have a look, my Instagram is NZ Painter. So that's NZ, no spaces, Painter, Painter. I've also just about to do a rehaul of my website. That's www.newzealand. That's all spelt out, NEWZEALAND. www.newzealandpainter.co.nz. So if you do want to stay in touch and have a look what I'm up to, have a look at some more of my artworks, I would love you to join up, and I'd like to have a look at some of your artwork too, or your writing, or whatever you're working on. That would be awesome. And yeah, just another big thanks to Stan. Thank you very much for putting this together. and it's great to see all of those creatives out there making some really cool stuff. It's quite humbling to be a part of it. And thanks again. Hope you have an awesome day. And yeah, let's see what you're working on. Okay, thanks for that. Bye.